These are all the parts and pieces for my JDM EJ207 engine that I've recently broken down, and I've also broken down my EJ205 engine. In this video, I'm going to do a little side-by-side comparison, comparing all these different components from my EJ205 engine to this JDM EJ207 STI engine. And it's pretty interesting, guys, especially when you take a look at these heads side by side. This is my little Subaru shop. It's a DIY Subaru channel. It's a channel where all I do is Subaru builds and race Subaru vehicles in motorsport events. It's a DIY themed channel where I walk you guys through the steps to get your Subarus back on the road and hopefully do a little racing of your own. So thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, so what's the breakdown here? Everything on my left here is from that US domestic model EJ205, and all those parts were from a 2005 WRX. And I'm gonna compare all these parts from this US domestic model EJ205 engine to this JDM EJ207 engine that I have over here. So basically, this is the dividing line right here, and everything to my left is gonna be US domestic model EJ205, and everything to my right will be JDM EJ207. And we'll start by diving right into the turbos. This is a US domestic model EJ205 turbo, and it's actually a TD04 turbo. And if you look really closely at this turbo, you'll actually see that there's actually a little taper right here where it tapers inward to a smaller diameter as it goes into that turbo. That's one of the biggest factors you'll notice when you just look at this turbo right from the outset. And when you compare that inner diameter on this US domestic model TD04 to this JDM VF30 turbo, you'll actually see that this turbo actually doesn't have that inner taper in it at all. It's a much, much larger intake port into that turbo compared to that US domestic model TD04. So that's one of the first things without getting into any of the numbers or any of the statistics about either of these turbos. This VF30 turbo clearly has a much bigger inlet port into the turbo. And then what you see right here below me, these are actually all the sensors. And these sensors right here on the left, these are the US domestic model sensors. And these sensors on the right, these are the JDM sensors. So you're actually looking at a knock sensor, crankshaft sensor, camshaft sensor, and an oil pressure sensor. When you take a close look at these sensors, the JDM sensors and the US domestic model sensors actually look identical. So I believe those are interchangeable. But as you move down here to the harmonic balancers or the crankshaft pulleys, these are noticeably different. You can see right here in the US domestic model, the whole inner center section is missing compared to the JDM one right here. And I don't know what the technical reason for that is, but right off the bat, I can tell you the JDM engine actually has forged pistons, and I know that those forged pistons are quite a bit heavier than the pistons that are in the US domestic model, which are hypereutectic. So having a slightly different and probably heavier crank pulley would actually make sense if you had heavier pistons in that engine. And this right here, this is actually your crank gear. I don't have the other crank gear off because I want to turn the engine over for you guys in this video, but I'll tell you the crank gear between the US domestic model engine and the JDM engine also look identical. Okay, moving over to the intake manifold. This is a US domestic model intake manifold that I've actually painted in kind of a red wrinkle coat finish. I'll kind of give you guys a close-up of that red wrinkle coat finish. I painted it about a year ago. I actually have a video up on that whole little painting process as well, so you guys can do a little DIY on your intake manifold if you'd like to. This one really has held up well, but I'll tell you, this red is a little bit lighter colored than the JDM STI red. This red's kind of a little bit more of a strawberry colored red compared to the JDM red, which you can see right here is more of a dark cherry red. This is the original OEM red that came on the STI intake manifolds. As you can see, this intake manifold is also in really, really good condition. That STI red wrinkle coat paint from the factory still looks great and really hasn't chipped much at all. Got a couple scratches on it right there from people that have been a little bit careless with it. But overall, there's like no chipping on this intake manifold at all, which is really awesome because this intake manifold is actually about 20 years old at this point, and it still looks great and there's really no flaking at all taking place. While we're looking at the intake manifold, I'll also point out to the throttle body. The throttle body on the JDM engine and the US domestic model engines also look identical. Really no difference at all, no difference in the diameter of the throttle body or the blades, no difference in the intake ports or any of the ports or anything. One thing I'll mention is that if you're in a fair weathered or warm weather climate like I am in here in California, you really don't need the coolant circulating through these throttle bodies. That coolant circulation through these throttle bodies is really just for really cold climates where you have icing of the throttle body, or you might have the throttle blade that freezes in the throttle body. That's really what that coolant recirculation is for. That's the whole reason it has it. And if you're in California or any warm weather climate, you really can plug those coolant ports on your throttle body, which really is probably a good idea because all you really do when you have coolant circulating is adding a little bit of rust and corrosion over time to those ports. So why not remove those, make it easier if you have to remove that intake manifold, and prevent corrosion or rust from taking place because you don't have the coolant touching the metal in the first place. Okay, next we'll go over here to the turbo inlet. They basically look identical between the US domestic model and the JDM one, except for one major fact, and that is this little port for your PCV sensor. There's a PCV sensor on a lot of the US domestic model engines, like this one right here. This is actually the PCV little apparatus as well. This port right here connects to the top of your crankcase on your engine, and this is a little sensor that actually plugs in to this little port right here on your turbo inlet. So the US domestic model one right here looks a little bit different than the JDM one. This is the JDM one. As you can see, all it has is a little port right here, but it doesn't have the little apparatus to hold the sensor. I'm sure you could probably make something work, but that's really the only difference in these turbo inlet pipes. They both have the same port right here for the recirculation valve and everything like that. In that respect, they're identical. And moving down here to the coolant crossover pipe, these coolant crossover pipes are also slightly different. The US domestic model coolant crossover pipe has a pipe that kind of comes off the end right here and routes that heater core. But the temperature sensor that's on this coolant crossover pipe, the temperature sensor actually looks identical on the US domestic model engines versus the JDM engines, which is right here. So I actually have this one flipped around, but here's that coolant temperature sensor, and these temperature sensors do look identical between the two engines. But the pipe that normally would come off over here on the US model engines isn't here. The pipe on this one comes off right here, right kind of in the midway point. And then off that pipe it has a little T, and off that T is where it has a little hose that goes to your throttle body for the coolant that circulates through your throttle body. So that's slightly different between the JDM engines and the US domestic model versions. Okay, and then moving on down to the timing covers. Basically, timing covers are identical except for one major difference, and that's actually the AVCS. These US domestic model 2-liter turbo engines are non-AVCS, and the JDM EJ207 is AVCS, and that's what this big bulge is right here on this timing cover here on the left one. I actually have the AVCS cam gears under here, so I can actually show you what they look like. Boom. That is the reason you have that bulge in that timing cover, because that's the AVCS unit right there. It actually bolts to the cam gear. It's an integrated unit with that cam gear that can actually advance that cam gear independent of the timing gear itself. Pretty cool little setup, and actually broadens your power band nicely on these engines. So it'd be nice to have that AVCS working, but if you're going to use a US domestic model ECU, the US domestic model ECU doesn't actually have the parameters to control the AVCS, so I won't be using this AVCS if I'm controlling this engine with its US domestic model ECU. Okay, and then moving over here to the left here, these are the US domestic model water pump. This water pump and the JDM water pump are actually identical, and the reason they're identical is because the JDM engine also uses an oil cooler. If your JDM engine doesn't have an oil cooler, your water pump also isn't going to have this little port right here, because that port is what feeds the coolant into that oil cooler. And as far as I know, that's what all US domestic model engines have, like these two that you're seeing in front of me. This JDM EJ207 actually has the same style water pump and the same style oil cooler. So it actually has that port right here so it can circulate coolant through that oil cooler. But there is one thing I'll mention, guys. This is a JDM water pump, and this JDM water pump is actually a little bit different design in the back. It actually has 6 blades in the back. And if you look really closely, the gap between those 6 blades and the back, like the impeller gap, is actually pretty big compared to the US domestic model water pump. And even though this is definitely an OEM water pump that was manufactured by Subaru, this JDM water pump looks like it's a slightly different design from the US domestic model water pump. Check out this one in the back. This US domestic model water pump actually has 8 blades, and those blades actually look like they're a little bit closer to the backing face right there. So I don't know what the technical reasons were for this change in the design of the water pumps, but I can tell you guys, as a hydrologist and somebody that has a degree in hydrology and fluid mechanics, having these 8 blades right here with a closer spacing to the back would actually help move more volume of coolant through this water pump. At least instinctually, I think that's what would happen as a hydrologist. So if you guys know the technical reasons that water pump was redesigned, let me know. But I think it was redesigned to improve coolant flow through the water pump, which means this version of the water pump is actually a better option to use for this engine. But if you guys know any differently, let me know in the comments. Okay, so let's take a closer look at these cylinder heads and do a little side-by-side comparison. On my left right here, I have the JDM EJ207 cylinder head. That's from a JDM STI engine. And then on my right here, I have the US domestic model EJ205 cylinder head, and that came on US domestic model WRX engines. Now, the first thing we'll take a look at are the combustion chambers. And I'll tell you guys, the cut and the shape of these combustion chambers actually look very, very similar. I think they're basically identical when you compare the EJ207 STI cylinder head to this US domestic model WRX cylinder head. This one's a little bit dirtier because I haven't actually fully cleaned it like the other one, but the cut and the shape and the actual depth of this little combustion chamber looks identical in this US domestic model WRX head and this JDM STI head. And I'll also mention that I measured the valves, and this exhaust valve right here is actually 32 millimeters, and this intake valve is 36 millimeters. And those sizes are actually identical in this WRX head as well. 32 millimeters for the exhaust valve and 36 millimeters for that intake valve. So the exhaust valves and intake valves and the combustion chambers are identical between these two heads. The real difference is actually in the port geometry and in the camshafts. So let's take a closer look at the intake ports. This is actually the face that mats up to the intake manifold. So this is actually where your intake charge is going to enter your cylinder head. And one of the first things you'll notice, guys, is actually this little divider right here in this port, and I'll take a closer look. Okay, I put up a light so you can get a little bit better view. This is one of the intake ports, and one of the first things you'll notice is that this divider right here, guys, this divider is actually inset quite far into this intake port. And that divider is actually really, really thin. Now take a close look at this divider and intake port. This is actually on the JDM STI port. And then over here on this WRX one, look how large and thick this divider is, and look where this divider actually starts. It starts all the way up here at the matting surface with the intake manifold. On that STI head I showed you a second ago, this divider actually starts all the way in here about 1 inch, and it's quite a bit thinner than this divider. So that's one of the big differences between this WRX US domestic model head and this STI JDM head, which actually allows for a lot more air to enter this little plenum area. And the next thing I'll notice is that right here, guys, the geometry, I actually don't have an inner bore gauge, but if I did, the dimensions from this face down to this face is actually much, much larger than that WRX head. As I move over here to this WRX head, you can see the floor right here continues up, and it creates a much smaller diameter port for that intake air charge. Jumping back over here to the JDM head, you can see that it actually doesn't rise up as fast, and it's actually a much, much larger port. I would say about 20 or 25% larger port in this STI JDM head. And this head actually is referred to as a big port head, because these heads actually have the big ports. I'll show you guys a part number on these heads so you can kind of refer to them at a later time. It's kind of upside down right here, guys, but the part number for these heads is actually right here on the face, right head S20V006. They're upside down right now, or you can read them up over here, right head S20V, which is probably for 2 liter, and then over here, 006 is upside down. You got to read it in the right direction with this one. So that would be 006. And actually, you can actually read the part number on this side as well. So this part number is actually cast all over on these heads. Right here is that part number as well. And it reads RH for right head, S2V for 2 liter, and then right here, 006. So this is actually the right head 006. And I believe that is actually the part number for these JDM Big Port version 7 EJ207 heads. And then if I move over here to the back of the heads, this is the exhaust side. This is where the exhaust manifold will bolt up. This exhaust port is actually the same dimensions as it exits the port, but the inside port dimensions actually look like they're larger, but they're really, really hard to see on camera, guys, because they're full of black soot and carbon deposits. So it's virtually impossible for me to get a shot with the camera. But I will say that the exhaust ports, as you kind of travel inside this exhaust port, do seem to be larger on this EJ207 head versus this WRX EJ205 head. But like I said, we're not gonna be able to see that on camera because it's so full of that black carbon. Okay, now if we flip these heads over and you can actually take a look at the camshafts, I will say that the camshafts are also a big component that are completely different between these JDM EJ207 heads and this US domestic model EJ205 head. You're not gonna be able to see the camshaft differences right now, but I can tell you that the lobe profiles are definitely different between these two camshafts, because that camshaft lobe profile is really what controls that intake valve and how much volume of air can enter that combustion chamber. So this EJ207 motor definitely has unique STI cams that go with these heads, and they're definitely not gonna be interchangeable in any way. And the last thing I'll point out is this big obvious thing. This is your AVCS system. This is basically where that computer sends a signal right here to allow oil pressure to enter this little chamber and to rotate this intake camshaft, which is basically how that AVCS system works. If I move over here to this US domestic model EJ205 head, this head doesn't have AVCS for the intake cams or for the exhaust cams. Because of that, there's no AVCS unit right here on the top. And I'll also mention really quickly, if this head had dual AVCS, we basically see this whole system right here on the bottom side of this exhaust cam sticking out right here on the bottom. That's a really quick and easy way to identify whether or not your head is dual AVCS, single AVCS like this one, or non-AVCS like this US domestic model one right here. Okay, and the last big difference between this JDM EJ207 engine and that US domestic model EJ205 engine is actually the cylinder block. This JDM EJ207 engine actually is a semi-closed deck block. And that's what you're looking at right here, guys, a semi-closed deck block design. These little casting sections right here on the top and down here on the bottom, these are what make this block a semi-closed deck. On a completely closed deck block, you'd actually have all of this section, would actually have a cast section or a pressed in CNC'd section. But on this block, this is a semi-closed deck block from the factory, so it actually has these little casting sections right here. And I'll actually move over to the side so you can kind of see these little casting sections, they don't actually extend all the way down into this coolant jacket area. They actually only extend down about 5 or 6 millimeters. So they're actually not all that thick either. But just having that 5 or 6 millimeter thick section right here and that webbing that actually locks this cylinder sleeve in place actually makes a huge difference and allows this cylinder in this combustion chamber to take a lot more cylinder pressure, which means a lot more torque and a lot more horsepower for that engine. If I actually swing over here to this US domestic model EJ205 engine, that's where you guys can see a completely open deck design. And as you can see in this open deck design, there's actually no little reinforcement section right here. This whole water jacket area is completely open in this open deck design. So basically, the only thing that's holding this cylinder in place is this section right here that's about 1 inch thick, and then the main body section right here that holds the two cylinders together. But the entire upper section right here and the whole lower section right here are completely open to that whole coolant jacket cooling area. So like I said earlier, because this JDM EJ207 has this extra cast section right here on the top and right here on the bottom, in addition to the casting over here in the middle, that actually gives it 4 points to locate this cylinder and really lock it down in place. And another thing I'll mention is actually the thickness of the cylinder wall. These EJ 2-liter engines actually have a little bit thicker cylinder wall right here than the 2.5-liter engines. Ultimately, because these cylinder walls are thicker, these 2-liter engines actually have the potential to hold more horsepower and more torque than the 2.5-liter engines. And that's literally just a fact based on dimensions and the thickness of all these components. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap it up there for today. I hope you guys found this video interesting where I compared this EJ205 US domestic model engine to that JDM EJ207 STI engine. I think there's a lot of really interesting differences between these two engines, especially when you look at the head design and intake port design, and when you look at the block design. This JDM STI EJ207 engine is really a stout engine that's designed to move more air and handle a lot more horsepower and torque than that US domestic model WRX engine. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or any comments, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section. If you guys need any factory service manual or technician guides, please go ahead and check out my SubaruONLY website. Or if you guys need any t-shirts or sweatshirts, please make sure you check out my new merchandise site, which I have a link for in the description below as well. Thanks a lot for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. My name's Luke. You guys are watching the SubaruONLY channel. Until next time, guys. Later!